where you have the strength, the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. So Shazam is a very interesting character. The villain that they chose to go with was Dr. Savannah, which I know a lot of folks were looking forward for Black Adam, but I feel like they were saving Black Adam for like either Shazam 3 if they go any further, because I think what they're trying to do is that with The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing as Black Adam, they want to go ahead and do a solo movie on him first, so that way fans will be more familiar who Black Adam is, because he has the same powers as Shazam, but his is more of the Egyptian gods, whereas Shazam is on the Greek gods. And I'll do a video on Black Adam for those who's not familiar with him. But overall, the movie was pretty fun. It was more lighthearted than a lot of DC movies we have been getting. You can tell that this movie was mainly like a Marvel movie in a way, given the tone, the humor, the story build up of two boys who, grew up differently, but somehow they managed to find some common ground when Billy gets his powers as a Shazam. And you can also tell that even though Shazam is a hero, you can tell he still had the mentality of a young boy, because, they're doing YouTube videos and trying to see exactly what kind of powers that Billy had. We all know he had super strength, invulnerability, speed, flight. And I guess you could say he also has a little bit of wisdom in him, which we haven't seen much of. And he also has the power of Zeus, which he can, shoot lightning from his hands. And one thing I did like about the movie was that they introduced the Shazam family. When they all said his name Shazam, every last one of his foster brothers and sisters got the powers of Shazam, and each one of them share an attribute of Shazam powers. I'll do a video on that one day as well. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. It was fantastic. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the sequel. I can't wait for when Black Adam's movie come in, so that way we can see the two square off in a third movie, hopefully. And again, Shazam is one of my, I ain't gonna say one of, he is my third favorite superhero of DC. Because, think about it. All you got to do is say one word, and you are granted the powers of all six of the Greek gods. So, again, that power has to be something. And, hey, I would definitely choose to have those abilities, because, hey, all I got to do is just say one word and wham, I'm a hero. And then say the word again and I'm back to being normal. So, again, that's going to be my third favorite. So coming up at number 3, we have Shazam. Now, Shazam is my third favorite character in the DC universe. I like his abilities because it's almost childlike. His movie has to be the only... Shazam's movie has to be the only one that's lighthearted. It's more family-driven type of movie. Yeah, it's still a DC movie, but this one has a message where it's all about family. Like how Wonder Woman 84 had a message about consequences to one's actions. Shazam's message was more about family and togetherness. You have a young Billy Batson who, is a foster child, is on a search or a quest to find his mom, because it does explain how Billy lost his mom, and it's also going to be later explained why he was abandoned. But so far, Billy's on a quest trying to find his mom. He's been going from neighborhood to neighborhood trying to find his mom with the last name Batson in it. But he had no luck. But then he ended up becoming part of also became part of a foster family, which he had to constantly run away from, until one family decided to take him in, where they had multiple kids. And of course, Billy was also thinking about escaping, but he befriended one of the kids, which was Freddie Freeman. Now, I like the character of Freddie because he was the same kid that played Eddie in It. So I did like his character, very charismatic, energetic. I like, his little quick pace conversations. But again, I like this version. I also like how Zachary Levi performed as Shazam. Like I could see the kidness that he was trying to act. He was trying to mimic the character of young Billy Batson, and now he's the older version of Billy Batson, but he's just Shazam. And for those who don't know, Shazam's powers come from Greek gods. You have the Shazam, the 6-letter word. So my second favorite movie it has to be Man of Steel. So bear with me. I know a lot of people were expecting this version of Superman to kind of resemble the Christopher Reeve Superman that we've seen. And, this is supposed to be a realistic Superman who's dealing with the same issues that we deal with every day, trying to find his place in the world, understanding his role, and trying not to exploit his power, because growing up, his father didn't feel like it was necessary for him to use his abilities no matter what he did, because he felt like the world wasn't ready for him. There was a lot of symbolic ideas and images that they were trying to use in this movie, as far as they're trying to say that Superman kind of resembles Jesus, because if we all know the story of Jesus, they try to resemble his way into that ideology. Along with that, we also get characters like Lois Lane, who's also introduced. We get Perry White. We get all the characters that were introduced in like in a Superman movie. The only characters we didn't see was like Jimmy Olsen, but I'm sure they did have time to find Jimmy Olsen, so they wanted to save it for like a Superman sequel, which I hope one day we do get a Man of Steel 2 sequel, because it's been a very long time since we had another Superman movie, and I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like where they were going with this. They chose the right villain for the first movie, which was General Zod. Michael Shannon did an awesome job playing him. And, it wasn't that he was a pure evil guy. It was just a guy who wanted to restore his world to what it used to be by eradicating one world, so that way another world can be, grow. You also have, now, of course, this is a very dark version of Superman, because you can tell that it's very gloomy, it's not like, the Marvel movies where it's all humor and lighthearted tone and all that. It's more of a dark kind of Superman, and I can see that they were trying to go with a Superman who isn't kind of like the Golden Boy Scout. Yeah, the Golden Boy Scout. So this is a Superman who, he's never really fully utilized all his abilities. He's aware of them, but he's never used it to like save millions of people. And so a lot of people want to complain that in the end of the movie, when him and Zod were fighting, there was a lot of mass destruction. I'm like, if you think about it, what did you think what would happen in the Superman movie? That there would be less destruction? Like, come on, you got two godlike beings fighting in the city. Of course it's going to be like mass destruction. That's like saying King Kong and Godzilla, when their movie come out, they're not going to be a lot of buildings damaged. Like, come on now. So I think a lot of people don't really put this movie up top due to the fact that they're so used to the Superman that they grew up, like Christopher Reeves or the Brandon Routh Superman, along with that Superman we're getting on the CW show. A lot of folks expect Superman to be the symbol of hope, like the golden child who would inspire others to be better. But, this is a Superman who's still unsure of what he wants to do. Even when there was a scene where he had went to the church to get answers, because, Zod was asking for Superman to turn himself into the Kryptonian army. But, before Superman did that, he had to go to a church and ask the pastor, what should he do? Because, he was unsure. Should he stay and endanger more lives, or should he go? Knowing that even though he was born on a different planet, the Earth is the only planet that he knows. Earth is his home. That's all that he knows is Earth. So knowing that there are other people like him asking him to turn himself in, he would have felt like a stranger to him, even though they're, the same people. He would have felt stranger because he grew up on Earth, for so long. So, and then on top of that, even when he, gets his costume, like the first flight was the best. Like when he put on his red and blue suit and he was starting to embrace what he was supposed to be, what his father envisioned him to be. That was the best scene, was him learning how to fly and, embracing that he has took the call on being Earth's savior. So again, I would like to see where they go with this version of Superman later on down the DCEU. And I'm glad that they're able to bring Cavill back. So again, this movie, Superman, Man of Steel, is my second favorite. Well, you have made it this far on my ranks of DCEU movies from top. And now, since we got all the way to the top, you already know that my favorite is going to have to be Batman vs. Superman. Honestly, let me say, I was very, and I mean like very, very stoked when I first heard the announcement that this movie was being made. I was so excited because I really enjoyed Man of Steel. And not only that, we was going to get, Batman in this movie. And so I was really pumped because this is the first time that two of the world's finest heroes finally get to be sharing the screen together. And it was so magical. It was almost like watching the Superman Batman animated shows back then when they first met on the animated shows. That was the nostalgia that I had, and seeing that on the big screen, I was so excited. Like, I was so pumped. And even though when I heard the news that it wasn't going to be Christian Bale playing as Batman, that it was going to be Ben Affleck, given Ben Affleck's performance when he played Daredevil, but I gave him a chance. And when I went to go see this movie, I was all pumped. I was so focused. I remember I had took my girlfriend there years ago when that movie came out, and I was just like so stoked. I was literally in there. I was like this. I was like one of those people that was just watching every moment of that movie from beginning to the end. And yeah, that movie was long. Now, even though we only got the theoretical cut, I still enjoyed it. But the moment the ultimate cut came in, because the theoretical cut, they cut a lot of scenes in that movie because they said it was too long. I believe that movie was like 3 hours or 3.5 hours long. So they had to take out a couple of scenes from that movie and had to shorten it to at least about 2 hours. So I think we've only got missed about an hour or so in that movie. But when I saw the ultimate cut and they kind of filled in the gaps from all the areas that needed to be filled, now that's when I was like, okay, now I see where they were going. This movie was a world building movie because not only was it able to introduce Superman and Batman, but it also introduced other characters later on down that was going to have their own solo movie and also have a team up movie, which is why the name of it is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. We saw Aquaman, Cyborg, Shazam. Hey, this is the first time that we saw Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in the scene. I really enjoy where they were going with this. Like, this was huge. Like, I could see that, okay, we're actually finna get a Justice League movie real soon. Because, the Justice League movie was long overdue. So, with this, I'm very excited to see where they were going to go with this. The battle with Doomsday was also good. I wish they kind of, did a little bit with him. But, again, I enjoyed seeing Doomsday. I was a little bit skeptical with Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor because I know I'm not the only one that feel this way, but I feel like a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, were getting like either Joker vibe or Riddler vibe from Jesse Eisenberg. It just didn't feel like a Lex Luthor. He wasn't cunning. He wasn't like using his brain to figure out how to get two heroes against each other. Like, all it took was for him to kidnap Superman's mom, and then the whole Martha scene. I know this is something that a lot of people will never get over, was the whole Martha scene. Fortunately for me, I kind of looked past it. I kind of just envisioned something else that kind of stopped them from fighting instead of the whole save Martha. So and it was like, why did you say that name? But I'm sorry. That's just something that's never going, no matter years to come, that's still going to be the most talked about scene in all movies, is the whole point of two heroes fighting each other. And the only way they stopped was for one person to say the name Martha, because, Superman and Batman's mom both have their names called Martha. You have Martha Kent, and then you have Martha Wayne. So I guess it was trying to show a parallel, as, even though Superman is all powerful, he still is, considered a human, because he does have someone that he cares about that he doesn't want to lose, and want to show that Batman, I'm not all, bad. I'm just trying to show you that I'm just as human as you are, given that I have all these godlike abilities. So again, BVS had a lot of messages, had a lot of story build up in the movie that would be shown in later movies. Like, it showed that that of course we're getting a Justice League movie, but we're also going to show us exactly, how each of the characters are, work in this world. Because we've already seen a solo movie of Aquaman and Wonder Woman. I wish that we were able to see a solo movie of Ben Affleck's Batman, but we may see it on HBO Max. And I also want to see another Superman movie as well. So, and also I hope that we see Green Lantern in the movie. There's also talked about other DC characters that are supposed to show up, like Martian Manhunter. I hope that we are able to see Martian Manhunter in this movie. I know. Oh, and another thing before I go, Remember, I had mentioned about Jimmy Olsen wasn't in Man of Steel. Well, Jimmy Olsen was in BVS, but it was in the beginning and he ended up getting killed, which a lot of folks were upset because, Jimmy Olsen is also an important character in, Superman's life. So having to kill off that character was a big move. So again, I still consider that movie rewatchable, and I would love to see, where this all goes, how it all builds up. I want to see why Zach chose this route. Because, again, BVS is like two comic book movies mixed into one. You have the Death of Superman, and then you have the Dark Knight Returns. You have two stories mashed up into one movie. So again, thank you all for listening to my opinions on these movies. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll be doing more of these in the near future. And again, I hope all y'all have a blessed day.